Hello and welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're going to do a nice, nourishing practice that can either help you start your day or maybe unwind from a busy day where you just need to kind of step back and release everything that you've experienced throughout the day and really come back to yourself. This is the practice of yoga. It's not about chasing poses, it's about embodying life. If you're looking for a nourishing practice that helps to connect the mind and the body, you're in the right place. This is going to be a smooth flowing class, gentle movements, and nothing forced. As always, please make sure that you listen to your body and take breaks when needed, pause if you need to, and you can always come back to the breath and pause and breathe if you just feel like doing that today. This practice is about listening to your body. This practice is about honoring yourself. This is where we give back to ourselves so we're able to give to others more fully, because I believe that the practice of yoga is the art of intention. Intentional breath, intentional movement, intentional action. How will you show up today? All I ask of you is to simply do what you can, but make sure you show up fully. And when your mind wanders, remember that the breath is your tool into the present moment to help anchor you and bring you back to the present moment. This is what embodiment is about. It's about learning how to connect, reconnect, and recalibrate so we can show up better and experience this life on a higher level. Let's begin. We're going to begin in stillness. You don't really need anything for today's practice. I always like to have blocks and a blanket. I'm not going to be practicing with blocks today, but please bring them in. Blocks are extremely supportive to anyone's practice. If you're a practitioner of many years or just starting out, blocks can be a great way to help bring the ground up to you. So you're not really straining and forcing to get into certain shapes that we might be moving in and out of. Bring them in, take them out. This is your time to explore and get a little bit curious about what a practice means to you. Practice doesn't have to be something that is rigid or exhausting. A practice is where you show up time and time again for yourself, no matter what that is, whether it's movement, whether it's breath work, whether it's working with your hands. It matters little what a practice is. But I invite you to maybe start here. Maybe you enjoy it. If not, thank you for trying it out. All you can do is try. You don't know if something's going to be for you unless you give it a real, honest, truthful try. So now let's get started. We're going to take a comfortable seat. I like to sit on a blanket. This is a beautiful Mexican blanket if you're looking to purchase one. I think I found this one on Amazon, but I've seen them all over. So take what you will. I like to sit on that to not only give me comfortability as we sit on the floor, but to help raise the hips up. To add a little bit more circulation throughout the legs, because I do always start out my practice with stillness and breath work to really center and ground into the energy for the action I'm going to put forth ahead. Take your comfortable seat, whether that's cross-legged or sitting, the sitting bones towards the heels. You can bring your hands to your lap. Or if you want to try a little something different, you can bring one hand to the heart and one hand to the belly. Gently close your eyes and begin to notice the breath. Simply bringing awareness to the breath moving in and out of the body. Feeling this beautiful flow of air moving in and out of the body. Now start to bring awareness to the quality of your breath. Is it shallow? Is it deep? Is it relatively balanced? What you're observing, nothing is wrong or right here. This is simply your state of being. A couple more mindful breaths here. Continue to breathe mindfully, and I want you to bring your awareness to your sitting bones, sitting down on the ground or on the blanket. And gently just push down through the sitting bones, finding length in the spine and really bringing that crown of the head to the sky. Take a nice smooth breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, let it go. Let's do 2 more like that. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Last one, inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Let the hips relax with it. Slowly bring both hands to the lap if they're not there already, and start to bring the chin into the chest. You can keep the eyes closed or open for this part. Inhale, lift the gaze up to sky, chin comes to sky. Exhale, chin to the chest. Inhale, gaze to sky. Exhale, chin to chest. Now just move with your breath a few more times back and forth in this moment. And I want to invite you to close your eyes at any time throughout this practice. For me, it helps me to connect my body with my breath a little bit more, understanding the sensations that are going on in my body. And because all of our body styles are different, we may be experiencing different sensations. Next time your chin comes to the chest, hold here. Now slowly draw that chin over to the right shoulder. Take a pause here. Take a nice deep breath in. On the exhale through the nose, slowly draw that chin down back to the chest and then chest over to the left shoulder. Take a nice deep breath in here. Exhale, draw the chin to chest and over to the right. Now move back and forth with your breath in this way. And then the next time your chin comes back down to the chest, pause here. Start to bring the gaze back to a neutral position and start to bring the shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale as you roll the shoulders back and then back around and up again. And just continue in this way, moving those shoulders around, this rotation. Nice, smooth, rolling sensation of the shoulders. If you're anything like me, I sit at a desk all day. So rounding the upper back is often a bad habit that even I have, but I'm working on. Go ahead and reverse those rotations. And then slowly come to stillness. Bring the right fingertips down to the ground. Bring the left fingertips down to the ground. Start to bring the right ear to the right shoulder. And on your inhale, lift the gaze back to center and then left ear to shoulder. Bring your gaze back to center. Sweep both arms up to sky. Find length here. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. One more breath in. And on the exhale, slowly start to twist over to the right, bringing that left hand to the right thigh, and then let that right fingertips float down to the back of the mat or ground. Push down to the sitting bones, lift up through the chest, through the spine, find nice length here. Just taking a few moments. Noticing where you might be holding on to tension, perhaps in the hips. Are you able to soften a little bit in these areas? On your next inhale, start to twist and sweep those arms back up to sky. Exhale over onto the left side. Right hand comes down to left thigh. Left fingertips come down to the ground. Push down through the sitting bones. Lift up through the chest. Find length once again here. Taking a few mindful breaths. Noticing the sensations in your body. Noticing where you might be able to soften with the breath. Good. Slowly start to sweep both arms back to center, both hands to the lap. Both arms float back up to sky, finding length, pushing down through those sitting bones to lift yourself up. Exhale, start to bend the elbows, coming into our cactus arms here. Open to the chest. Now make your fingers into fists and start to roll out the wrists a few ways here. Nice, slow, and controlled. Where's your breath? And then take a pause and then reverse those rotations. Good. Come to stillness and just flick out the fingers a few times here. Keep flicking. The more rapidly you do it, you might start feeling it in the forearms. Get ready to rest in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly let those hands come down to the ground. We're going to sweep our legs around and meet in our tabletop position. You can move that blanket out of the way. If you want a little bit of support under the wrists and you have that blanket handy, definitely recommend to bring it right in front. Or you can also put the blanket under your knees as well if you have more sensitivity of the knees. Today, I'm going to focus kind of more on the wrists than the knees. But your practice, that means you can create variations that are best for you and your body style. So listen to your intuition. If your body says, hey, you know what, I want something under my knees today, do that. Or bring in another blanket. That's always an option too. Into that tabletop position, I just folded up my blanket so it's nice and long across the mat. And then I'm going to put the heels of my palms as they're going to be into an angle. My fingertips are just gently touching the floor. We're going to lower the belly, lift the chest, coming into our cow pose. Hold here, take a nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, start to tuck the tailbone round the upper back, pushing into your cat. Take a pause here. On the exhale, lower the belly, lift the chest into your cow. On the inhale, slowly lift it up to your cat. Maybe close the eyes here if they're not already closed and just sync the breath to movement, moving back and forth, really waking up, moving that spine. Couple more breaths here. And the next time you're in a good spot, come back to that neutral position into your tabletop. We're going to shift the weight over onto our left hand, and a right arm is going to sweep up to sky in a nice twist here. Take a pause. Take a moment, feeling the points of action on your mat here. Your hands to the floor, your knees to the floor, tops of the feet to the floor. Now start to bend the elbow and bring the right hand to thread underneath the left arm, coming into our thread the needle, but hover here. On the inhale, sweep the arm up to that twist one more time. Exhale, thread and hover. Good. Inhale, lift. Exhale, thread and hover. This time we're going to come all the way down, bring the side of the head down to the mat. Now notice your body in this shape. Noticing any sensations or feeling of tightness. Are you able to use the breath to breathe into these areas or bring awareness to these areas to maybe release or soften a little bit more? And if not, that's okay. But just notice where your areas of tightness are. We're going to make our way back up. Push down with that left hand to lift that right arm back up again, like we came in, and open up to that twist. Maybe gaze follows the sky. Slowly and mindfully bring your right arm down to the mat or to the blanket. Shift the weight over onto the right arm. Left arm sweeps up to sky for that twist. Hold here. Notice the points of action one more time on your mat. Now moving into our thread the needle, start to bend the left elbow and thread the left hand underneath the right arm. Hover here. Inhale, push down to lift, open to that twist. Exhale, thread and hover. Inhale, push open to that twist. Exhale, thread and hover. Bring it all the way down. Head comes down to the ground. Noticing the sensations in your body here. Making any adjustments to make yourself comfortable. Using your breath as your anchor when your mind starts to wander. Because it's really easy when we're in these paused positions. Mindful pauses stirs up the mind. And that's really what the practice of yoga is. It's to help to calm the fluctuations of the mind. The movement is actually just a small part of it. We're going to slowly start making our way back up. Push down with that right hand to lift that left hand up and open to that twist one more time. Really feel it here. Open to the chest. Exhale mindfully. Bring left hand down to the ground. Bring your knees out wide and bring your big toes to touch. Slowly start to shift your hips back. Coming into our child's pose here and letting those arms extend out in front. If you have that blanket, you can go ahead and bring it under the head. Letting the elbows rest on the blanket. Bringing awareness to this pose, this position. Is there anywhere you can soften? One more breath here. On your next inhale, we're going to lift up halfway, bringing those fingertips to about a tent. And then we're going to walk our hands over to the right side. We're going to bring our elbow in towards our right knee, and then we're going to slowly lower down once again. Just really offering a nice opening up through that left side body. A little bit more sensation maybe in that right hip. One more breath here. Slowly start to push back up, lengthen that right arm, and then walk your way back to the middle. And then we're going to walk over to the opposite side, letting that opposite elbow come to the left knee, and then slowly lowering down. Maybe feeling a nice opening up through that right side body this time. Is there anywhere you can soften? One more breath here. Slowly start to lift your way back up. Extend that left arm long and then come back to the middle of the mat. Walk your hands back towards your torso. Push up. Sweep the legs around. We're going to bring that blanket underneath the knees and scoot our way towards the middle of the mat. If you don't have a blanket, that's all right too. We're actually moving into our final pose of Shavasana. Shavasana is a pose of integration, to integrate the breath, the movements, and the action that we put forth in our practice. So whether you do a strenuous practice or you do a more relaxing practice, Shavasana is such a beautiful way to tie everything together and to really close out the practice with honor and respect for you and your body. So start to make your way down to the mat on your back, your way, whichever's easiest, nice and gentle, nice and slow. There's no rush here. And then just make any adjustments needed. Sometimes I like to shake the body out just to release any extra tension. Maybe start to gently close the eyes and come back to the breath. Nice smooth inhales through the nose. Equally as smooth exhales through the nose. I'm going to move through a body scan and then we'll release and relax into Shavasana fully. As I call out to each part of the body, imagine a nice, warm, relaxing feeling, a feeling of release. Start to bring the awareness to the crown of your head, moving down to the eyebrows, to the cheekbones, to the jaw. Moving down the neck into the shoulders, really let those shoulders release into the mat. Let the arms grow heavy, the hands grow soft. Now bring your awareness to your heart space, noticing the quiet rhythm within you. Moving down the rib cage and the chest to the belly, to the hips, all the way down the legs into the soles of the feet. Take a nice smooth breath in through the nose. Exhale everything out. It's time to let go of doing and to let yourself simply be. I'll call you back when Shavasana is over. Slowly start to deepen the breath and bring awareness back into the body, back into the room. And it's time to start inviting gentle movements, maybe running the thumbs across the tips of the fingers or the palms of the hands. And just gradually making movements with your body a little bit larger by maybe rolling or flexing the wrists, moving the toes and feet, maybe even stretching out nice and long, really just waking up the body like you like to be woken up. And then you feel ready, no rush here. Maybe start to bend the knees, lift up the hips slightly and bring them back down. And then bring those knees into the chest. Give yourself one nice big hug of gratitude for showing up to practice today. Showing up is often the hardest part. Maybe rocking side to side helps the lower back, or maybe making nice little circles with the lower back and legs here. If you go one way, just go ahead and go on the opposite way a few times as well. And then slowly bring those feet down to the ground. Shift your hips over to one side. Let those knees float down to the opposite side. Push down to lift up gently into a seated position where we'll meet one more time together to close out the practice together. Bring your hands down to your sides. Now sweep both arms up to sky. Find the length. Once again, pushing down through those sitting bones. Gaze up. Palms touch. And then slowly bring your hands to heart center in prayer position. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide you today. It's always an honor to share these gifts that add so much value to my life. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Take great care. See you soon.